Welcome to Signals and Insights. I am Gabriela Fernandez, your host today, and I'm here with Hanna Teklit, the managing partner at 42Emerge, a marketing strategy consultancy in Washington, D.C. Hanna has built her career at Cigna, Garnett, and Spark Fund before launching her own firm, and she's not afraid to challenge what most people in the marketing are assuming is true. Welcome, Hannah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to start from the beginning. Can you please tell me where the name comes, Emerge 42?
I think it comes out of my midlife crisis. So I don't know. um, so I used to have kind of a newsletter that I ran for a very long time called Emerge, where I discussed strategy, marketing strategy, sales strategy, even people management strategy, really. And when I decided that I was going to start my own firm, I was in Dubai visiting a family member, and every one of the companies there had 42 in there. That's, from I think it's Catch in the Rye. It's 42 is the answer to life. That's what that they say is. So I was like, you know what? I wanted to show up at the top, because if it's a number before it shows up before a letter, so I just added it in there. Really, there's no like rem or a
Fantastic.
method to it. So yeah.
I love it. And yes, having the number in the front is going to come out before the A. Great.
Yes.
So, uh, we know you come from the corporate path, where, corporate background. So tell me, what made you leave the corporate path and start your own consultancy company?
I just kind of like think it was time. It was just time to just kind of take a step back, because I found myself spending a lot of time writing and reading about strategy, customer insights, and just kind of starting to evaluate different corporate strategies. And I found myself gravitating more and more to that, even when I was in my marketing leadership, product marketing leadership at an energy company here. So when that kind of folded, I just kind of knew was the next step is going to be my own thing, and I was gearing up for it, and it just happened. Really, like, I can't explain it. It just happened. One of those things that's been percolating in my head for a long time. And I tried to itch the scratch, because I really like creating things. And I spent some time, I used to do like fun things like create hair products. I used to sell them to Walmart, through Walmart and stuff, just as a side thing, just to scratch my creative side. Because I found myself really trying to figure out, how do you build a company? How do you launch a product and get it to stick? I'm always thinking about that. So I decided, let's just try this. It's a humbling
Wonderful.
experience, I have to say.
Yes, it's like, wow, wow, wow. It's like, I'm now hearing more about you that I didn't know.
Yes.
I did my research about your marketing experience and all the different industries that you work, that it's something amazing that I'm going to tap into it in a second. But now I'm hearing, oh my God, you also have all these creative, entrepreneurial in the other areas, right?
Yeah, I've done a lot of like, not a lot, like 2 or 3 like side things I've tried while I was in my corporate world, as I consider them to be an outlet of fun at that time. So I didn't invest too much in my corporate jobs. All of them were very demanding. So I didn't invest a ton of effort into them to just kind of make them stick. But I used them as a way to just kind of really exercise that itch that I had for entrepreneurship.
So, and then you just say, hey, I'm ready for business. And then you open your own shop and it
Yeah,
started.
I think I had midlife crises, Gabriela. That's all I could say.
Fantastic. What a great way to have a midlife crisis and go independent and have a successful story. Because something that I didn't mention before, this podcast is about that, inviting people that they're like really impacting the way things are done. And that's how we would love to hear about you. And exactly going into that, people that think differently and act differently. Uh, I want to ask you, you've been very vocal on talking about the social media. And I'm assuming most of the new clients tell you that they need to boost the social media. What is wrong in asking that?
So when companies ask things like, "I need to boost my social media presence," or I need to adopt AI," or "I need to do more or like create more content." That's the other thing I hear. I need to produce more content. I always ask, what strategy is that supporting? What is the go to market strategy that we're trying to engine with social media presence or content creation or the adoption of AI, like which is going to be critical for everyone. But there needs to be a positioning strategy. There needs to be a clear sense of who the customer base is. If the customer is going to be on social media, yes, by all means, we need to figure out where they're going to be and boost that. But we don't just boost the social media, right? Like social media content, uh, AI are engines that activate your strategy. They are not the marketing strategy. They are engines that activate the strategy.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's like we are forgetting at times that people or clients, the way that I'm hearing is that just because they're using the buzzword that people are talking about it is like, and you and I were talking about this before, you have to have a clear path. And that is the strategy, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Yeah, you
if
need to
you can
go.
extend a little bit more into that.
You need a go-to-market strategy. You need a go-to-market strategy. Your go-to-market strategy clearly defines your customer base. It clearly defines your product. It clearly defines how you're positioning your product, your pricing strategy. And this is, at the very least, these things have to be true, right? Your branding, then it needs to feed into your branding. If you have all of these fabrics answered, then you can start building something that you don't have to rework, right? At 42Emerge, what we believe is when we engage with our customers, we will deliver breakthrough solutions, not a solution that's going to go on your shelf, not a solution that you're going to work around again 2 years down the road or a year down the road and say that money just went down the drain. That's because that's not effective. We're going to deliver something that is going to really give you a breakthrough. And the only way we could do that is by weaving in your customer voice, making sure your positioning is aligned, and then saying, okay, here are the things that need to get done. Your positioning comes from your go to market strategy. And whether or not the strategies that we bring to the table are effectively implemented depends on your go to market strategy, because the buy in of the go to market strategy within the company, within the brand, is going to be critical in delivering a cohesive, impact focused, result oriented experience or service.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. If you're not putting all the elements in line to go in a cohesive way, you're skipping one of the stages and then you turn back and it's like, what went wrong? It's like, hey, what went wrong? It was missing from the marketing strategy.
So from my work experience, I worked in various size of companies. And this has been true of my consulting experience as well. What I find is a company that does not have a clear go-to-market strategy falls into the trap of following the shiniest thing, following what their competitors are doing. If you're going to follow your competitor's strategy, guess what? You're never going to be the leader of that market share. First of all, you're not going to know what their full picture of go-to-market strategy is, why they're doing this, what their 5-year plan is, where they are headed. You're just focused on winning the customer today. You're not going to get loyalty that way. You're not going to expand the wallet share that way. You're not going to defend your market share that way. You're just going to continue to copy. You know, when they did the dropship thing, did you ever follow that? When everyone was doing Amazon dropship and they just take one product and they just bombard you with it. They sell that and then they can't repeat that with another product. That is not
Exactly.
building a long-term strategy, right? So when you follow just the leader of the market and copy what they're doing and say, okay, they are in social media, so I have to be in social media. They're creating
Yes,
content, so I have to create content. They have ads on Super Bowl. I'm sure people are not spending millions of dollars without thinking about customers. But part of the reason why I really like Super Bowl, and I'm going to pay attention to the ads that are coming through the World Cup too. But one of the reasons I love the Super Bowl commercials is because it gives you a glimpse into all of the market research that was done by everyone else. It gives you a sense of what the sentiment of the customer is. It's a shortcut way for you to understand what's the temperament of the customer. Now
100%.
going to give you a specific direction for your product, but it will give you a temperament, just a temperature check. So I
Exactly.
love these commercials. That's you're basically reaping somebody else's investment, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's like giving us the temperature of the feel of the market, the moment that everybody's leaving,
But a
and what
lot
is happening.
Yes, a lot of customer research goes into these.
Fantastic. Yes, because it's like it's expensive. We know that. And a lot of people start to follow that trend or start to get that messaging, right? Oh, that is the sentiment. And that's how we should start looking into that. Okay, so I know that the social media investment has dropped from 17% to 11%. What do you think is driving that?
Because they went in, they overspent without a strategy, and they're pulling back because they're not seeing the result.
Wonderful, wonderful. Tell me about a client win and what was delivered and what was the change in
The
that
impact.
client
The impact.
scenario.
Okay. I'm trying to choose from the top of my head. There's a client that we're working. So we are doing a 5-year. Actually we just wrapped up a 5-year strategy for a library in a different state. And we when they brought us in, their desire, when they put out their RFP, their desire was for us to come in, aggregate the information that's sitting within the organization, because they do know a lot, right? There's a lot of knowledge in an organization. That's usually a consulting strategy to come in and just really get all of their thoughts and ideas down. And they wanted us to just aggregate that and come up with strategy based off of that and give them a 5-year strategy, a long term, what they call long range planning. And we said, great, but we think you'll be leaving a lot of money on the table if you do not bring in some focus groups and get a sense of what your community is looking for. So we said, for us to deliver something that is going to take you into the post AI era, post COVID era, and really give you a sense of what's happening with your community and keep you at the forefront of your community's need, we have to talk to your community. We went through 4 or 5 rounds of interviews to just defend our position for the RFP because we were the only ones who were pushing back on what the RFP was published. And what we discovered, and they were happy. They said, okay, we'll give you a chance. All right, we're going to, we were able to find budgets, etc. And it was an 8 months engagement. And what we discovered was their demographic was shifting drastically. It was shifting. It used to be very young demographic, shifted very drastically. And the internally, they were not picking up how drastically the demographic was shifting.
Huh.
B, they were looking at other places, other benchmarks, other cities that were doing some incredibly kind of workforce focused activities. And they wanted to implement that. That's kind of the idea that employees had in house. They wanted to implement more kind of get ready for the workforce type of engagement or programming. And what we discovered was because of some of the healthcare, the health department, the community's health department, the state's health department activities, the county's health department commitments, they were attracting more and more families with diverse needs, diverse needs. Let's just keep it there. So they didn't realize that what the county was doing was part of the reason why there was a huge shift in the demographic. So in uncovering that, we were able to say, hey, great, like there's some of this programming that we can keep, but these are some of the critical programming that you need to add in order to stay at the forefront of what's happening within the demographic that you're serving. Right? You can put up all of the programming you want. If the community is not going to come and use it, it's not going to be useful, right? It's not going to have the impact that they want it to to deliver. And they also came to the realization that they need to be paying attention to what the other departments are doing because it has an impact on the community that they can take advantage of or that they need to service.
Yeah. Wow. I hear you and I'm like following you and I can only imagine you think that you're talking to these people, but then it shifted and you have to make this the decision is like, are you going to serve this new community or are you going to go back and reject this community? But who is impacting that element and bringing this other new demographic or like this shift of audience and consumer? And it's like, you have to collaborate and know the impact of, as you said, the county, the whole actions, everything that goes around it.
A one-time customer voice uncovering exercise is not going to be a lifetime of the product, right? You always have to go back and see what's changed with the customer. What do we need to add? What white space opportunities do we have? How do we communicate with our customers effectively? Are we on track? How do we continue to grow? How do we build loyalty? All goes back to go back and talk to your customers. You have to keep talking to your customers.
Put the customer first, right? How many of us we continue to say that word, put the customer first? And so many times we forget about that.
um,
Uh,
Accountants say cash is king, marketers say customers king.
exactly. Yes. I just want to emphasize on this. You said you were one of the agencies that was just coming with a different approach, and that's how you won the account.
Mhm. It's all when you're I don't know if you guys deal with RFPs. It is risky to go against an RFP's statement of work when you're putting up a response for an RFP because they're usually not open-minded. They want you to just really a response to an RFP. I'm giving you a secret sauce here, and a response to an RFP is essentially a statement of work. Right? They want a detail of like, how are you going to do it? How are you going to measure what you're doing? And are you answering every single detail of what we have put into the statement of work? When you go against that, you have to be very confident. But we have internally made a decision at 42 that we need to deliver a breakthrough solution. It's not enough that we answer a question. The question that we answer has to give you breakthrough. And that commitment kind of clarifies how we respond or handle the type of projects that we take.
Yes, but you're tapping into something that is very, very important to highlight. How do you find more of those clients that are going to be open to listen to that new approach, the ones that are going to be implementing change for the long run?
So at the beginning, it's just being upfront. Be upfront, just like the way we didn't respond to the RFP in a way that the RFP was designed. We did a little bit more and took the time and the effort to convince them that this is the right approach. Again, it's very risky, but you have to be willing to say, I would rather walk away from this project than do something that does not fit the ethos of the company. And this is our own filter of how we take in clients. We need to be able to give you a breakthrough, and we cannot do that if we can't use data, for example, right? I don't want to take a project where all I'm doing is executing your social media strategy. Like that's not the kind of work I want to do.
Yes,
Although those are the ones that are most available,
yes,
right? There's kind of like a staffing agency. You become like a marketing staffing agency kind of thing. No, because we have determined that what we are doing is taking people to their next level. We are indeed their next bet. Their next big bet is them working with us. And that means we have to deliver that breakthrough.
I love it. I love it. So you work across so many different industries,
I
the
do.
tech industry, the health industry, the energy industry, the government, as well. What strategy mistakes shows up in all of that?
I really like what I said up front, right? Not having a clear go to market strategy, not having a clear positioning for your initiative, not having a clear positioning for your product, not having a clear positioning for your company just really, you just get blown by the wind. The wave just takes the company from side to side. Whatever the wave is doing, they go. That is the biggest way to burn cash, the biggest way to stall, the biggest way to shrink, the biggest way to lose market share. It is critical. You have to define your positioning strategy.
Thank you. Yes. Talking about the wings and the new trends, what is the biggest mistake companies are making integrating AI into marketing?
The ones that I've interacted with, actually, it's not even them. It's the narrative in the market. The narrative in the market is AI is going to replace the marketers. What I am seeing is AI is exposing the fractures within the marketing department because AI is now an engine that's activating your strategy. If your strategy is not sound, it's not customer voice focused, if the data is not clean, guess what? You're not going to get results. You're just going to invest in this wonderful engine that will accelerate and optimize your strategy, but your strategy is not clear. Your positioning is not clear.
I hear you. And then we don't have the data and the resources to fit on to that tool that is the AI, right? And then you're asking it, it's like, I love the fact you position it. It's like, it's just showing the fractures.
Wha- I had this conversation 2 days ago with a client, and this is my position. My position is you cannot replace critical thinking with AI. You need critical thinkers in the marketing department that are able to use the engine, the powerful engine AI is, to accelerate the growth of the company. But someone has to look at what's happening to the data and figure out what's the right thing to optimize, right? So a great example here is when you think about COVID, how, my goodness, the boom of COVID, how many companies did we see they just exploded in growth? Peloton is a great example that comes to mind all the time. It just exploded because everyone's working out at home. I mean, I was eating a lot of bread, so I needed Peloton. So
Were you baking your own bread as well?
I was eating way too many sourdough bread, so I needed Peloton in the house. But Peloton expanded, so AI is going to get you that first customer. You're going to need a critical thinking marketer, a critical thinking salesperson to defend and convert loyalty. Loyalty cannot come from AI. So if you want an initial boost, go for it. Use all of the tools that are available to you. You better then figure out how to defend that market share.
Yes, it is a tool. And I think that the more we're talking about to experts like you, we're coming to the same conclusion. It's like, you cannot just have, the robots and the AI throwing stuff at you, but you need the expertise, you need the human sensitivity, knowledge, and experience that, no, yes, maybe.
So we're not bashing AI, right? AI will accelerate how quickly you get insight, right? AI will optimize. It will make sure there's no human error in the customer journey that you create, right? Consistency. AI will allow you to do micro personalization. So AI is great. There's nothing wrong with AI. But for example, here's an example. Amazon has drastically changed people's sentiment of customer experience. They want speed. Everywhere they go, they want speed. They go to a healthcare service, an outpatient situation, or a clinic, they want speed. They go to a grocery store, they want speed. Everywhere they want speed. And I believe that's the byproduct of what Amazon was able to do for its own business. Where is your AI going to pick that up? The AI that you have installed, for example, in your CPG company that is for a hair care product, I am making stuff up now.
Yeah.
How is it going to pick up this subconscious expectation that the customer is coming in on its own?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
It will optimize, it will bring in data, it will take the data, it will get to know the customer as it interacts with your brand and optimize that. But how about the other things, the changes that are affecting how the customer wants to interact with you? Okay, let's say,
Yeah,
there's an argument that you could say, okay, you can feed all of that data to AI, and it can figure out what to do. But then you say, okay, they want speed and they want it to be cheaper. Okay, but you run a luxury company. You don't want they want That's not the customer you want, right? Like, you want to defend the luxury component of your brand and the mission that you've put out there, and the guiding principle for your brand. So all of that requires a human touch.
correct, correct. No, for
I
sure.
over-explained, I think.
No, it is great. It is great. And I love it. It helps us. It's a tool, and we just have to know how to integrate it. I think that is bit more of the boss that nobody's going to have a job. No, 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 no. We're just integrated into tools, and we're going to learn how to adapt it to the best possible, to the best of the impact that it is. It's a tool.
It's going to change our job. It's going to change how we do work, right? My daughter's doing she's going to Europe for her third year of college, and they sent her an account to an AI tool. They were like, "Okay, now you have this." And I was like, "Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Like, you're going to actually go to school, and the school's like, we expect you to use Copilot. So here's an account we have purchased for you." That's interesting.
Okay.
It's going to change how we work. I'm an economist by training, and my initial training was economics. And when like Greenspan and the likes were pretty vocal at that time, and they used to say how globalization was going to steal everybody's job. I think you have a job and I have a job. Globalization didn't steal our job, but globalization drastically changed our job types,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we have heard this narrative before that the new thing is going to change. Yes, email has changed. The dot-com boom has changed our life. Social media has changed our lives. Right? Like, but we're still doing advertisements. I remember when social media was like, oh, you're not going to do any advertisements anymore. We do advertisement, just not in the same way we used to do it.
Yes. Yes. It's different ways. Definitely.
Different
It's
ways,
like,
which we welcome. I love change. I love change. So I am excited about this. We shouldn't fear change, but the doomsday narrative is really not helping anybody, to be honest.
yeah, it's definitely, an opportunity to continue to evolve and learn
Yes.
something new.
Yes.
And with your experience that you shifted from different industries, that's what you've done your whole career.
Yes. I love shifts. I love change. As I told you, I loved learning. And, as I talk to my child, as I told you, my child's in college, what I tell her is, you need to be critical thinker. It's not okay to memorize things. It's not okay to be the person that moves things around, or, works within formula. You need to learn how to critically think. In order to do that, you have to expose yourself to different things, right? So,
Yes. Okay, so talking about the future, what do you want 42 Emerge to be in the next 12 to 18 months?
Uh, ooh, in the next 12 to 18 months, we want to demonstrate to more entities, whether they're private or public sectors, that breakthroughs are possible. Breakthroughs are possible, really, in your business, in your initiative, in your attempt to grow your initiative or your product. Breakthroughs are possible, and the way to do that is through clear understanding of your alignment with your customer.
My closing question, it's always this. If you could fix one thing that is holding your business back right now, what would it be?
Capacity. I need two like me on my team.
Right? Hey, there you go. So, um, I think that people will see this podcast and maybe people can be reaching out to you.
Great. That would be
It's
great.
like, hey, so
Marvelous, marvelous work. I've really enjoyed being an entrepreneur, primarily because I'm a problem solver at heart. And this has given me an opportunity to solve various problems in various spaces with various level of sense of urgency, right? Some of them are life and death. Some of them are, we're just growing a company,
we're just doing marketing,
Oh, yeah.
be aligned with their consumer and their messaging. Love this conversation, Hannah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And I know our audience is going to enjoy this a lot. We're going to leave your links right here underneath this, video. And I think that just for the audience, if you think that this is valuable for you or for somebody else, please share this link.
Of course.
And we'll come back to these conversations with more people that are shaping the industry. And so thank you. I'm Gabriela Fernandez, and this is Signals and